All right, so good early afternoon. Welcome back to our Saturday class. Today's class I just called Fiery Engagement, which is sort of like short talk for we will be doing a lot of core exercises because the core is a really sensual place for feeling that burn kind of feeling. People say like feel the burn, but to really notice sensations in your core when you're working hard. That's something that's very really tangible. You can really tell you're working when your core is working. So we'll spend special attention on the mid region of our bodies, especially towards the end of class today. And then otherwise, we're going to have a fairly dynamic flow today. If at any point you feel that we're going too fast, just take a second, go into any posture that feels good, take a deep breath, and just come right back into it. A lot of this may seem very familiar. Some of this may be new. And I just recommend if you've never taken yoga before to just take this in stride, take it as much as your body wants to, because it is sort of fast paced and requires, I guess, just some patience with yourself. So let's come onto our mats. I'm going to take off all my 10 layers here. We are actually going to start today in an upright, comfortable seated position with our breath of fire. And we're just gonna do a very basic breath. So to do our breath of fire, you can even place a hand on the belly to really feel where the motion is emphasized. And you're going to empty out all of the air, the last sip of air, then take a deep, full breath in through your nose. And throughout the whole breathing practice, you're gonna keep your lips shut. And it's going to be short little spurts of exhales out your nose. And then the inhale is going to be almost passive. It's just going to be exhale through your nose and then a passive, just feel the belly fill a little bit. Sharp exhale out the nose, the belly will automatically fill. Sharp exhale out the nose. So we'll start slow. So let's all begin together. Just let out all of the air in your body. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Then short spurt. Again, like you're blowing the snot out. And you really feel with every burst out your nose, the belly pulls in. And it's sort of this like contraction, it naturally reinflates. Contraction, and then as you get comfortable, you increase the speed. But make sure you are mindful of if you're getting lightheaded. So find it again, deep inhale and short spurt. Maybe you go faster. Few more seconds. And then let it all out. Let's take that one more round to build a little bit of heat in our bodies. Deep inhale through your nose. And then begin. Again, contraction, contraction of the belly. When you're out of air, let it all out. And deep breath in to fill back up. Good. So hopefully you feel a little bit of warmth. Oh, I feel snot all over my face from that. And we are going to come onto our backs. I'm sorry, not onto our backs, onto our hands and knees and come into a child's pose of your choice. Knees can be together. Knees can be as wide as your mat. Take a couple of breaths here. Slow it down again. If you like to set an intention, this is a good restful place to do so. Noticing the sound of your breath. And then let's begin to move on to our hands and knees, tabletop position. And let's take a couple rounds of cat and cow. So you inhale to drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze, and then exhale to press it all the way, rounding through the spine, gaze up at your belly button. And as, I'm putting my music in, and as you move through your cat and cow, take any organic movements. So if you need a little, like, pop the booty right and left, just try to sync it with breath. If you want to tuck the toes, send the hips back. Just sync it with breath. Or if you want to turn the fingers towards your knees, get a little forearm stretch. These are all options here in this cat and cow space. Excellent. Take one more full cycle of breath. And at the end of that last exhale, come on back into our neutral spine. And we're going to walk the palms forward about a palm print, tuck the toes, begin to lift the hips into our first downward dog of this practice. And when you get to the top, take any movement you need. Just ease into it. Deep, full breath in. And deep, emptying exhale. We're going to walk the hands towards the feet, nice and slowly. Have a generous bend in those knees, feet hips width distance apart, and just hang. You can do a ragdoll by reaching opposite hands to elbows and doing a little, you can do a little shimmy, which is sometimes fun, or you can just sway side to side, whatever you like. I saw someone in one of my classes today doing a shimmy, and I was like, I love that. Let's shimmy. And then at the bottom of your next exhale, sync it up with the release of the hands. Root through those feet, and let's just roll up like you're unrolling fruit by the foot. Head is the last thing to rise, and then finishing with a nice deep roll back of the shoulders. Let's bring our hands to heart. I'll turn to face you. Feet can be together or hips width distance apart. Take a deep breath in. Eyes can be open or closed. And let it out. One more breath in. And empty the breath. Wonderful. We're going to reach our arms up overhead and just reach your wrists. You're just going to stretch tall. And I'm going to bring my left leg behind my right leg and just stretch my body to the right side. So getting a little side stretch here. And my left leg is behind for some support. I'm going to inhale, come back to center, reach up tall. If you want to switch your grip, that's fine. And then exhale, step your right leg back. Ball of your foot is on the floor, stretching to the left side. Get a nice deep side stretch there. And then inhale, come on back up. If you're not facing the short edge of your mat, come back to facing that. Inhale, arms up. Then exhale, hands come together. Heart leads forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. You can have a nice bend in the knees here. Feel the the horizontal stretch of your body. And then exhale, forward, forward, fold. Inhale, look up, and just walk those hands out, out, out until they're under your shoulders, and lower those hips into a plank. Feeling that belly button reaching towards the spine, but at the same time, the hips are lowering towards the earth. So you have this like focused like pressure on both sides of the core, really compressing it in. And let's drop the knees. Take a deep breath in, send that heart forward a little bit. And then exhale, lower down to the floor, leading with that chest. And then come up, move into a baby cobra. That's palms on the ground, elbows towards each other. Neck is long. And then exhale, dropping the knees, sending the hips back, tucking the toes, and lifting up into your downward facing dog. Take 3 cycles of breath here. You can come to your tippy toes if you want. You can bend your knees. Just continue to feel into this position. Excellent. On your next inhale, you're going to lift the right heel off the ground, keeping the hips square, shifting forward, knee towards your nose, and step that foot down in between your hands, runner's lunge. Let's lower the back leg. You can use your thigh for some support. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale. Inhale to get long. Exhale, hands come to heart. Begin to twist to the right. And the twist comes from the lower body, from the belly button. Next, inhale, open your arms. Palms can be up or down. Excellent. Exhale. Arms move up past center, arms up. Exhale. Lower the left hand to the inside of the right foot. Lift the back leg. Reach the right arm up to the sky. Light it up. Gaze is up towards the hand. And then exhale to frame the front foot. Step the front leg back and move through either high plank or low plank. Low push-up. And press through your Chaturanga. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take 2 full breaths here. And on your next inhale, you're gonna lift the left heel into the air. Exhale, shifting forward, shoulders over wrists. Send that knee towards your nose. And in 1 or several steps, bring that foot in between your hands. You can always have blocks under your hands. And lower the back leg. Back toe can be tucked or untucked. You're gonna inhale, reach those arms up, square the hips to the front of the room. Exhale to hold. Inhale to reach up, lift a little bit more. Exhale, hands to heart, and begin to twist from the belly button to the left side. On an inhale, the arms can open. Exhale to suspend here. Woo. And then inhale, move back through center, arms up. Exhale, right hand plants on the inside of the left foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg. Reach the left arm up to the sky, twisting up, stacking those shoulders. Feel this like a string pulling up from your fingers, lifting you off the earth. And then exhale, plant that left hand, step the back leg to meet the back leg, and move through your Chaturanga. That's your push-up, leading with that heart, moving through a little cobra or straightening the legs and the elbows, moving into upward dog. And then we find ourselves in downward. Good, take a deep breath. Exhale, release. Inhale, we're gonna step or hop those feet towards our hands. Forward fold, release. Inhale, hands come to shins, thighs, floor, halfway lift, feeling those shoulders defying gravity, lifting towards each other. And on your next exhale, fold again, sending that tailbone up to the sky. Knees can always be bent. Inhale, we're gonna root through those feet, reach those arms out and up, this time with a straight back, straighter. Arms come up, then exhale, send them down. Tadasana, closing your eyes, shoulders roll back, grounding here, letting your breath come back peacefully into your body. Excellent, let's flicker open the eyes. We should be at the top of the short edge of our mat. Bend your knees, reach the arms up. Fill up with air, and then exhale, feel that air pressing out as you forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift wherever feels good. Exhale, forward fold. Next, inhale, we're planting the hands and stepping the feet back one at a time. And our Chaturanga, always option to drop the knees. Feel into the other muscles that are working. There are plenty at work. And let's meet in our downward facing dog. Nice and slow getting there. You have plenty of time. We're going to take a couple rounds of breath here. I am going to turn around so I'm not facing the back wall when I demonstrate this. Take a full in breath and a really kind of controlled exhale. You're going to lift the right heel into the sky. Gaze between the thumbs of the hands versus the thumbs of the feet. And then bring that knee to nose. Suspend for a moment. Can we lift that knee a little closer to our spine? And at the same time, can we feel our pelvis dropping a little closer to the knee? And in one or several steps, step it into that runner's lunge. Just take a moment, roll back your shoulders. Excellent place for blocks here. So then you can actually roll back the shoulders and then they're kind of in line with your back. Whew, excellent. From here, we're going to slightly rotate the back foot. So the back toes are still turned towards the front left corner. It's like a 45-degree rotation to the left. Deep bend in that front knee. You can use your thigh or just the core. Lift that body off the leg. Reach the arms up, warrior one. Square the hips by pulling the right hip back, left hip forward. And then feel the muscles activating here in the legs. One way to do this is to imagine and actually envision in the body the big leg muscles pulling towards each other. You'll feel that engagement of the muscles. So don't lift the feet, but actively pull the legs towards each other. Then feel weightless in the upper body as you reach up. Woo. And then on an exhale, whenever that exhale comes, open your body to the left. Turn out the back foot, warrior two. Let's bring our hands to our hips and just align. So heel of the right leg, of the right foot, bisects the foot of the back. So if you're kind of off that line, try to find that line between your feet. Send that torso upright so you're not leaning one way. Roll back the shoulders, gaze over the right shoulder, take a deep breath in. Then exhale, open the wings and settle. Good. Now that you've found your position, can we activate the legs again by pulling both legs towards each other? You might even, your pelvis might even lift higher off the ground because there's so much activity pulling you in and up. And then exhale, release that tension and just settle. Take a breath here. Wonderful. We're going to straighten our legs and reverse our triangle. A little spin on the warrior two reverse and all this. So our legs are straight, feet are in the same direction. We're going to place our left hand either just gently along the back leg, or you can bend the elbow and place it behind your back. Right arm reaches up high, then exhale, reach towards the back of the room. Again, you're not upside down. This is more of a side stretch. And you're actively reaching up and out rather than kind of collapsing down into the ground. One more breath, gazes up. Exhale. Whew, come on back. Straight arms, triangle, legs. Then we're going to bend back into our warrior two. Take a deep breath in. Roll back the shoulders. Exhale, extended side angle. So you can just have an angle where you have your forearm on your thigh. Left arm reaches above that ear, or you can shimmy that right arm down to the ground, reach up to the sky, bring it behind you in a little bind. Honestly, the top arm, as long as those shoulders are stacking, that heart is open, you can be like discoing. I honestly don't care. You can just like paint Bob Ross rainbows over the ceiling. Whatever feels good. Wonderful. So from here it gets a little funny. So you're going to bend that knee and eventually plant both hands on the ground. And just walk those hands without shifting the legs out the left corner. Just get this sort of humble warrior stretch. Try to release the neck. You don't have to go far. You're just reaching a little beyond the mat. And then bring those hands back in. We're going to bend both knees. Walk those hands through center. Begin to straighten through the right leg. As we lunge into the left leg, we can flex the right toes up. You might have your hands on the ground. Perhaps you can begin to send your heart up. Maybe you lift one hand into prayer, maybe the other. Otherwise, this is intense on your knees, so definitely take the support you need in your hands. You don't want anything to feel that you are pushing yourselves beyond what your body wants. Good, and then on an exhale, lower those hands back down if they were lifted. We're gonna walk on back to the front leg, that right leg. Turning the right toes to face the front, turning the back toes now back into our lunge. So both toes pointing to the front, back knee is lifted, take a breath. And we're gonna exhale, we're gonna shift our weight to the front leg as we bring our back leg through. Bring that knee up to your chest. Arms can lift, they can be in prayer. And then exhale, lower it down, feet touching. Send those hips back. Chair pose. Chair, there's so many different ways you can do chair. Some people stick their tailbone out, some people tuck it in. As long as the weight is more in your heels than your toes, your shoulders are pulled back into their little pockets, arms can be anywhere. Take one breath more, let's sink a little lower because we always can sink a little lower. And then exhale, find length and fold. Oh, well done. That was a long sort of sequence, good job. Let's just hang for a sec. And find your halfway lift on that next inhale that comes naturally. And then exhale, fold. Bend your knees, reach those arms out and up. Bring that straightness in your back by rolling the shoulders back as you come up. I'm going to turn to face you just so we can come to Tadasana together. Eyes can be closed. Find your peaceful breath. Peaceful breath. And let's blink open the eyes. So again, you're facing the short edge now, probably, or the short edge of your mat. We're going to reach our arms out and up. Stretch and then exhale. Feel the compression, the tumbling of the breath as it leaves your body. Inhale, halfway lift. Length through the neck as well as through the spine. Exhale down. We're going to plant the hands, step one foot back and then the other. Find your Chaturanga or come into a child's pose. You can always skip the push-up. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. You can always skip the push-up. I don't care. And sometimes you don't need or want a push-up. It's all good. And we'll meet in our downward dog. I'm going to turn around so I can do the other side. Avec toi. Avec vous. Avec vous. I don't know. I barely can speak English. Take 3 full cycles of breath. They can be short and shallow, but try to get each one deeper than the one before. And maybe by the end, they're a little more substantial breath. A little bit more grounding breath. And breath can be very stabilizing too. When you return to the breath, it's like returning to a home base. Let it enliven you. The last inhale here. And then melt it out with an exhale. I'm going to inhale, left heel into the air. Exhale, shift forward, shoulders over hands, or shoulders over wrists. Bring that left knee towards your nose and compress here, lifting up, pressing down with the body. And then in one or several steps, bring that left foot in between your hands. I'm going to back it up because I'm going into the couch. Wonderful. Okay, from here, we're going to move into our warrior one. So we're going to rotate the back foot on a 45-degree angle to the right, plant the heel down, bend in the left knee directly over the heel, trying not to shoot it too far forward, and then using the thigh or not, reach those arms in the air, roll back the shoulders, warrior one. Warrior one is sort of awkward, at least in my body, so just make adjustments that make it a little less awkward. We're going to send the left hip back in space a little bit more to square the hips directly to the front. Deep breath in, reach longer with that upper body. Compressing, pulling those legs towards each other. And then on an exhale, open the right foot out to the side. You can squeegee the toes out, so if you want your warrior two to be wider, you can. Hands to hips, find your position here. So make any adjustments. Lifting that torso, bending more or less into that front foot. Gaze over left shoulder and then open those wings. And exhale to kind of endure in this posture, in this heat for a little bit. Feel the pulling, the isometric pulling of the legs together. You might feel the glutes engage, the inner thighs squeezing towards each other without even lifting the feet. And then release that tension, just settle. Next inhale, we're going to straighten the front leg. Exhale, we're going to either drop the right arm or bring it behind our back. Surrendering triangle or whatever, triangle in like a surrender pose. And then inhale back through warrior two, bend in that left leg. Find your extended angle of choice. Again, we're not collapsed. We're always just active here. We'll have the time to release and restore soon. And then exhale, we're gonna lower down so much so that our palms are on the inside of the left leg. And just walk those arms out, out the right corner of your mat. And just get this open, humble warrior two weird shape. Again, activating through the pinky edge side of that right foot. You might even get a little lift in your legs when you do that. And then we're gonna bring those arms back in and walk them through center, bending both knees. And then as we settle into the right hip, your hips might be high, they might be low. Begin to straighten the left leg. Send those hips towards the earth as much as you want. Whew. It's in your practice. Open that heart a little more by sending the shoulder blades back. And maybe we come to some form of prayer, maybe not. Trying to stay active in that hip without just kind of dropping in, which is quite a challenge. One more inhale, knowing that the exhale is coming as well as the release. Woo, exhale. Drop those hands. Excellent. We're going to begin to walk those hands back through center, placing the left hand on the outer edge of the foot, so the hands frame the front foot. Rotate the back leg into your runner's lunge. Take a deep breath here. And then exhale. We're going to shift our weight onto our front foot. Bring that right knee up to the sky in front of us. Yeah. And then exhale, lower that foot, bend the knees, sit back, chair pose, rolling those shoulders back, looking down, making sure you can see your toes, and maybe you can lift all 10 toes off the ground as well. One more breath in, sit a little further, exhale, straighten up, and then release it all down to the ground. Well done. Take a deep breath here, bend those knees, reach opposite arms to elbows and ragdoll or shimmy ragdoll. Good. Wonderful. From here, we are going to plant the hands on the ground, step one foot back and then the other. Here we're going to open our legs about as wide as the mat, making sure the shoulders are over your wrists. We're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring left palm to right shoulder. Next breath, lower down. Next breath, right hand to left shoulder. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left hand, shoulder tap. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right. One more time, each hand, you've got this. And then wherever you are, drop the knees, touch the toes together, send the hips back. Nice, like you're moving through like gel. Nice and easy. And then just release it all at the bottom. Note the quality of your breath here. Can you bring a little bit more peace into your breath? The music is like jamming here. Excellent. And then we're going to lift the pelvis and move back into our tabletop. I'm going to adjust my mat. Mat's on carpet. It's not like an excellent, they just like zoom around. Excellent work. So then we're going to now move to one of our nearly final standing sequences, so you know the end is coming. We're going to walk those palms forward, tuck the toes, send those hips back and up, like you're being hung on a clothesline by your tailbone for some reason. Take 2 full cycles of breath. Option to blow the breath out like you're blowing out birthday candles, or sigh out the breath with some noise. I'm going to turn around because I'm going to be facing the wall. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, right heel. Exhale, knee to nose. And when you're ready, step in between. Now, this is sort of a level beyond what we did last week. Last week, we dropped our knee, which we will still do, and we brought our left knee from back to front, and we went down and up. This time, I invite you to extend that heel out a little bit more in front. Maybe it's straight, maybe it's not. I can barely straighten my leg. And then bring it back. If you want to just play around with any version, I invite you to do so. We're going to take about 4 together. So we're in this kneeling lunge. Make sure that there's a right angle in both knees. So if you're kind of lunging forward, send that hip right back over the back knee. Yeah. Take a breath, roll back the shoulders. And find a breath pattern that works for you. I'm going to inhale at the bottom. And then exhale as I bring that heel up and out. Woo. And then inhale, bring it back down. Take 3 more. Arms can be up or at your hips. Move slowly. Ooh, gosh, I'm going to redo that one. When you finish that 4th, untuck the back toe. Let's find ourselves in this lunge. Oh, excellent. We're going to squeegee the front toes forward a little bit. Flex the toes and just take a bow. Hands can be on either side, a little half split. Whew. Good. And we're going to lift the body. And then with a big lift of the front leg, just bring it in. So you're on your knees on both sides. And if you need to shift this position to make it more comfortable, please do. We're just going to move right into the left side. So same thing. We know where we're going. We're going to lift the left foot out, make a right angle out of both legs, square the hips, feel stable in the ball of that left foot. Take a breath at the bottom. And then exhale, knee high, extend. 3 more. Breath over body. So find that breath first and foremost. When you finish that last one, let's take a minute for us all to get here. Untuck the back toe. Wiggle the front foot forward a little. Flex the front, the left leg, flex the toes. Just take a little bow. Blocks are really nice here, especially if you have tightness in your hamstrings, which everyone always does. Wonderful. And then here, as we come out of it, you have the option to move to your plank and do your Chaturanga, or take a restorative posture. And in a couple of breaths, we're going to meet in our downward dog. So take whatever feels good for you. If you're doing Chaturanga, I'll lead you there. I'll plant my hands, tuck my toes, square shoulders over wrists, and then move. And slowly come into your downward from wherever you are. Good, let's bend our knees deeply, lifting the heels, and then send the tailbone higher in the sky. You might feel that almost arch in your back as your shoulders really engage in your shoulder blades. And then keeping that lift in your hips, begin to lower the heels again, straighten out the knees. 1 breath in. And on the exhale, prepare to slowly walk your hands towards your feet, feet hips width distance apart. Bring the feet together to touching. Bend your knees deeply like you're shooting off a ski slope. Bring those arms out and up into Utkatasana, lightning bolt shape, chair pose, intense pose. Find what works for you here. And then exhale, straighten up, hands to Tadasana. Take a deep breath, close your eyes or lower your gaze. Let your breath drop back in. Relax the shoulders. Excellent, and let's just shake it out. We're gonna do a couple of standing balances here. Ooh, so I'm gonna face you. It might be nice to turn on the long edge of your mat wherever you're comfortable. Just make sure you have some space in front of you and behind you. I don't have much space behind me. First, we're gonna go into a standing figure 4. So hips width distance apart, roll back the shoulders, take a deep breath. Feel the breath grounding you through your feet. And on the exhale, you're gonna transfer the weight into your left foot as the right foot becomes weightless. You can even use your left hand to kind of turn out that right foot and then just plant it over your left thigh. So right ankle over left thigh, making a P, or I don't know if I'm mirroring you or not, but, or letter number 4. Whew. From here, hands can come to prayer. Bend in that supporting leg. If you'd like, you can begin to bow forward, keeping those shoulder blades pulling towards each other, flexing that front foot, which I wasn't doing. Go as far as you like. Sometimes it's more challenging just to kind of hover in between. If you want to keep going, you can drop your fingertips to a block or the floor. And if that's where you are, you can use that right foot and kind of hook around that left arm, that left tricep. Relax the head. And then from here, we're going to engage the core, begin to roll back up. Hands to prayer, ooh, shoulder blades towards each other. Ugh, that's never my strength. Balance and me, we just don't love each other. That's okay. If you fall out like I do, just come on back in and start over. Shake it out. We're gonna go on the other side. So now we kind of know where we're going. You may still feel quite a difference in between legs. Only difference on this side is we're gonna stay down for a little bit. So even if you're kind of playing around in between, eventually make your way towards the floor. And we're gonna do a little bit of crow preparation. We're not gonna, unless it's in your practice, we're not gonna like go launch into crow, but just engage some of the muscles. All right, so let's take a deep breath in, root through the supporting feet. And then exhale, transfer the weight to the right foot as we lift the left, cross left ankle over right thigh, gentle bend in the right leg, flexing left toes. Maybe this is good for you. Just want to just get so profoundly focused here and just stay. Excellent. Want to keep going, hands to prayer. And then exhale, maybe we begin to tip forward, sending those hips back like we're hands on a clock. Our body is just one line. Maybe we drop our hands towards the floor, hooking left leg around, left foot around right tricep. Let the head hang heavy. Excellent. And here, if you're hanging out, begin to lower those hands down. We're going to actually drop the left foot. So now we have a bend in both knees. Both hands are down. Feet are hip width distance apart. Just find this. From here, you're going to bend your knees enough so that you can actually flatten the hands on the ground. Walk your hands forward just a smidge, just a hair beyond your head, so that if you tip forward, your shoulders are directly above your wrists. So if your heels are flat, your arms are extended out at a 45-degree angle. And if you tip onto the balls of your feet, your shoulders come right over the wrists. So if you're just hanging out on the feet, they're extended. You come onto the balls of your feet, they're directly over your wrists. Try that for a few breaths. Weight in your feet, weight transfers to your arms. Weight in your heels, transfers to your palms. Next time you're transferring it to your palms, hover there on the tips of your toes. Walk those feet in closer to the hands, staying on the toes, and then just gently touch your triceps with your knees. So you're just kind of like clapping your arms and legs together on the upper arms. And then maybe from here, you bend the elbows a little, keeping those knees up on those arms. You're almost like creating a shelf for those legs. And then gently transfer your weight into your palms, send it back into your toes. Palms and toes. One more. And then release. Exhale, roll on up. Your feet can be wide. Doesn't really matter how you get there. And just shake it out. Excellent. For our final balance of the day, I invite you to take what you want. I'm going to lead us into a dancer pose. You can take whatever you want. If dancer is tricky for you, and also, like, even if it's not tricky for you, One nice option is to get the shin along the wall and then reach the other arm up. You'll feel a really great stretch in your hamstring. This is a window, so I'm not going to do it. If you just want to bring your right shin to a wall and reach your arms up, it feels really excellent. Otherwise, if you're going to do without the wall, you're going to receive a high five on the right side. So right arm reaches out, palm up. And you're going to reach for the inner edge of that back foot. So inner edge being the big toe side. Inhale, woo, left arm up. And then on the exhale, you're going to kick your right foot into your hand, pull, resist with that right hand, and that resistance creates a little bit of lift. So you begin to bring that back leg up, front arm forward, find your balance. I feel like I look very intense right now on the screen. Hips are square. Find wherever you are. And when you're ready, after a nice inhale, lower it down, shake out both legs. Again, using the wall, just lift the shin against the wall, reach up and press your back into the wall. Really nice option. Otherwise, feel firmly rooted in the right leg. High five hand on the left, palm up as it reaches the big toe edge of your left foot. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale to kick left foot into left hand. Left hand is resisting, and that little bit of tension, that little bit of resistance creates a very activated lift in the back foot. You're not just pulling it there. Find your balance. Find a dristi, something to look at, keep your focus on. And after a nice inhale, we will exhale, carefully lower down. Shake it out. Ooh, good. Had some weird squat built in, but we're just gonna go into Malasana, Yogi squat. So let's just bring our toes together and we're gonna toe heel our feet out until our heels are about shoulder width distance apart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, as you bring your hands to prayer, begin to send those hips down. Ooh. You may need to make adjustments with your distance. So as long as toes are out, your feet can be closer or further apart from each other. Hands can be resting on blocks. And if this is not good for your knees, then simply skip it. Come into like a seated cross-legged position. So we take a deep breath in, send our hearts forward no matter where you are. And then exhale to plant the hands in front of you, tuck one foot behind so that we come into a sitting position. Whew. Wonderful. From here, let's just briefly hug the legs in. And then exhale, roll on down to your spine. You made it. We have a little bit more core engagement to go, but then you just get so much lovely rest and like, whatever. It's just such a good balance. So let's do it. Let's just rock it. So from here, we're going to go into bridge. You can take bridge that we often do, or I will offer modified bridge that may bring a little bit more heat into the body. So you choose what you like. Bring your heels in closer to your booty so you can almost touch the heels with your fingers. Inhale to lower the lower back onto the ground so there's no space. And we're going to inhale, lift the hips high. Squeeze the butt cheeks together, and then exhale, lower. The modification is I'm going to flex the left foot, lift it off the ground. Inhale, lift it up, one leg. Exhale, lower, just the one leg. Two more like that. Inhale. Exhale. One more and just hold a little more at the top. Hold for the exhale. Maybe we can lift the hips a little higher. And then exhale both legs. Excellent. Both legs on the ground. Inhale, up. Exhale down. Now we have the option to do 3 on the other side. So inhale to flatten the lower back. Lift the right heel up. And on the exhale, lift those hips. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Oh. You're trembling, so am I. Exhale, lower. This one we lift. Hold for the exhale. We're not holding stagnantly. We're holding with some life. So maybe as we hold, we can get more lift on the next inhale with our hips. And then exhale, let it go. Gently open the arms and windshield wiper the knees side to side. Excellent. Now we're going to extend the legs long. We're going to roll our hands underneath our butts, palms down. I feel like some of you know where this is going. You can point or flex the feet here wherever you feel activation all the way through beyond your feet. So just don't let them be chilling. They're working too. We're going to lower the lower back onto the ground. Inhale, legs up. Exhale, we'll lower them 45 degrees. Inhale to hold here. Exhale, lower another little bit. Inhale, suspend it here. Exhale, lower to an inch above the ground. And then next breath brings you back up. Exhale, a little low. Inhale to suspend. Shoulders flat against the ground. Exhale, a little lower. Energy out through those heels or toes. And then next breath, 1 inch. Inhale, come up. 2 more. Exhale. 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 And up, final 1. Exhale. 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 And drop. Release the hands. Roll over onto your belly. Come onto your forearms. Just take a little space. The legs are long. Forearms on the ground and just press your body through. Get a nice stretch in those abs. So if you're feeling something, excellent. You're just gonna get to know yourself a little better. Knowing your preferences, your likes and dislikes in yoga, but also, how, something that's actually serious is how you face yourself in moments that are intense. Maybe you do like 1 million leg lifts a day and that was just nothing and you felt just nothing but pure ease. Bless you if that's the case. If you didn't feel everything but pure ease and you were trembling, maybe you couldn't do all of them, that moment is crucial. In that microsecond where you are hitting frustration or a sense of failure or just exhaustion, what did you just tell yourself or what mental image just came to mind? And that is important information. How do you actually talk to yourself when you don't even realize you're talking to yourself and when challenges come up? See, the core is a challenge for our heart. Oh, my metaphor has officially hit the end of the road. Take 1 more breath in your Sphinx. And then exhale. Let's just extend on the ground and roll over onto our backs. Tuck in those knees. You can give them a little sway to side sway. And we're gonna rock and roll a couple times. I was in a class where they had to rock and roll into chair, and I was like, why are we doing this? It was like the most awkward thing I had attempted in a very long time. All right, and when you're done, come on up to a seated, knees hugged in position. We're gonna bring the soles of the feet together in Supine Twist, bound ankle pose, but we're not gonna let the knees just drop. Some people have very open hips. Keep a little activation, keep the knees up. If you need to put blocks under your knees to ensure that they're lifted or pillows, absolutely. From here, we're gonna round the spine down to the ground. We're going to clasp our hands behind our neck and kind of hug the neck. Really feel that you're nestled into those palms. I like to have the thumbs along my neck and then feel the elbows pressing towards the ground, knees a little lifted. We're gonna inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 4. So inhale, crunch and round the spine. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. 1, 2, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just go as far as you can. Hold, elbows back, and slow release. 3, last one, slower. 1, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold at the top. It is the last one. And exhale, gosh. Let those knees drop. You can fold one over the other, open those arms, get a little supine twist. Gaze over, if your knees are over to the left, gaze to the right. If your knees folded to the right, gaze to the left. And then just let those knees come up and gently drop to the other side. Reverse the gaze, eyes can be closed. Whew. Excellent, come on up. We're gonna cross our ankles and just gently roll up. That can be as awkward and you don't have to just roll up. You can like literally take as much time as you need to come up. So now I wanna invite you to do some yoga your own time. If you are working on all sorts of inversions, a headstand, you wanna take crow further, happy baby, anything here. I'm going to lead us into a camel to get this final heart opener, slight back bend. It is our last couple moments together before our much beloved Shavasana. So do you. If you're gonna follow me in crow, I highly encourage a towel or a blanket underneath your knees as we come up, lift those heels. We're gonna tuck the toes, bring the hands to our hips, and we're gonna open, kind of like a cat and cow, just sort of open the heart to the sky, bring the elbows a little closer to each other. Gaze lifts, feel that sort of energy up and out. You're not necessarily splaying the rib cage open. We really wanna protect the lower back. So you kind of wanna knit the rib cage in. So people call it corseting the rib cage in. Feel like, I don't love the word corset, but if you wanna think of that kind of knitting in rib cage, you're just opening the upper body. And then the exhale, just come back to neutral. Take that one more time. Knitting in the rib cage, shoulders roll back, heart opens, gaze lifts. Feel the energy from knees to gaze. Exhale. We can take that one more time if you'd like to take it a little bit further. Same preparation. So then maybe you begin to bend. Again, trying to keep the integrity of the rib cage without splaying it open. We just reach one hand back to one heel, other hand back. And then once you're here, you can kind of reach that rib cage up. Kind of release that knitting, because now you have some support in your hands. You can gaze down in front of you or let that head drop back, whatever works. Hips pressing forward, one more breath. And then exhale, carefully bringing one hand to hip, then the other, untucking the toes. Send the hips back. Wherever you are, begin to deepen the breath. Telling yourself it's time to slow down, it's time to settle. Take a moment to see how you're feeling. Bring a little bit of peace into your bodies. We're gonna roll back over onto our booties and just roll on down in a way that's comfortable. Your arms can be open wide like a star, legs can be wider than your mat, just like you fell from the heavens ever so gracefully into this like blissful, cosmic, holy laziness. Just open on up. Make any small movements you need to get settled here. I love to just like itch my hair and fix everything. And then we settle. I'm going to sit up because I'm going to do a reading for you today. I haven't done that in several weeks. I'm going to just prepare it. But while you're here, actively releasing the neck and shoulders. That's such a place of tension. Mentally guide the breath to the jaw. Can we release it? Maybe even the back of the tongue is heavier in our mouths. Our eyebrows, can we have them melt away from each other towards our ears? And then let that breath be a guide to different places of tension in your body. And just like a little bit of wind, it just kind of swirls around that tense spot or that spot that might need a little more encouraging. Let it melt. Let yourself be absorbed by the earth. Try this for a few moments, guiding that breath and sending release on the exhale. Excellent. And then even let your awareness of that breath just fade as you're just suspended, doing nothing more or less than existing as you already are. And the poem I'm going to read today is called Poppies by Mary Oliver. The poppies send up their orange flares, swaying in the wind. Their congregations are a levitation of bright dust, of thin and lacy leaves. There isn't a place in this world that doesn't, sooner or later, drown in the indigos of darkness. But now, for a while, the rugged shines like a miracle as it floats above everything with its yellow hair. Of course, nothing stops the cold, black, curved blade from hooking forward. Of course, loss is the greatest lesson. But I also say this, that light is an invitation to happiness. And that happiness, when it's done right, is a kind of holiness, palpable and redemptive. Inside the bright fields, touched by their rough and spongy gold, I am washed and washed in the river of earthly delight. And what are you going to do? What can you do about it, deep blue night? Again, that's Poppies by Mary Oliver. Let's take a deep breath in. Let the words pass through you, pass over you, pass beyond you. And exhale. Begin to become aware of where your body is making contact with the earth, starting from your heels or your ankles, riding up past your legs, your calves, your seat, mid, back, shoulders, back of your head. And then begin to take some small movements in your body. Slight movement of the fingers and toes. Maybe letting your head gently sway side to side like the lovely poppies in the poem. For a moment, being that light, that hope, that smooth and constant presence, similar to your breath. And then carefully roll over onto your favorite side, tucking in those knees, creating a little pool of warmth for your heart. And then using the strength of your arms, gently press yourself up into a comfortable sitting position. Imagine your body facing towards the center of this circle, this community we have. Hands come to prayer in front of your heart. Take a deep breath. On your exhale, drop your chin slightly. Acknowledge your presence in practice today. Acknowledge you showing up for yourself, for each other, for facing distraction, both internal distraction and external, and for just, enabling this practice to exist. Inhale, bring the thumbs to your forehead. And then exhale, gentle bow forward. Release the hands, open the eyes. Here, I'd like to offer you namaste and my sincerest gratitude for this practice together. I hope that we'll see you on Thursday, and be sure to check out any videos you missed on Flow with Catherine on YouTube, all the social media.